Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Mr. Play Color right here in another exciting episode. So you guys, today I want to take you behind the scenes of this amazing house. We are doing some real estate photos and videos to showcase the beauty of this house. So this house is located somewhere in Western Uganda. This place is called Bunyaruguru. Bunyaruguru is home to different cultures. We have the Bakonjo people here. We have some Batoro people here, Banyankole people here. So yeah, it's a pretty peaceful neighborhood and community. Yeah, so do not get away. I want to share with you guys the process on how I create these photos and the videos. Yeah, so I'll take you through my gear and share with you some tips that will help you also achieve some great results. So let's dive in.
Yeah, so I was hired by an interior designer from Kampala, and we set off from Kampala the day before we got to Western Uganda, that is in Rubirizi. So the next morning we had to do our final setup, and as you can see, I had to help out the interior designer to make sure that everything is in place. That took us a bit of time, and but we had to do it because then we couldn't do any shooting if everything wasn't complete and ready. Yeah, so once everything was set, I had to set up my camera so I could get started with shooting the photos. And for my gear, I normally use my Canon EOS R8. Yes, and then I also use the tripod. As you can see, I also use the trigger. I use a speed light, a light stand where I could mount my speed light, and then I also use two lenses. It was a long trip, so I didn't want to carry too much gear. I tried to travel as light as I could be. So I used only two lenses. I used the RF 16mm for the wide shots, and then I used the 50mm EF for the details. Those two lenses just were enough for me to do everything. I didn't need to use any other lenses. Yeah, so for the most part, I shot natural light because there was plenty of light coming through the windows and the doors. So I use natural light, and that's what I shoot with most of the time, because on very many occasions the designer wants you to actually shoot these photos with natural light, because that gives the ideal feel of the environment or the house, the ambience of the house. So yeah, natural light did the job for me. But also I carried a flash, so sometimes I would fill in where I feel maybe I need to add a little bit of a touch, more light in the photo. Then I would use a flash to do what they call flambient. As you can see now here, I used a bit of flash there at the dining because I was shooting the dining table. I had to fill in the flash a little bit. Yeah, the interior designer was assisting me out there, but yeah, I felt bad for her hand, so for her arm, so I just had to improvise and get my light stand. Yeah, so I could shoot freely. So yeah, normally I start with the wide shots. I make sure that I have all the wide shots of all the rooms, and I try to get different angles, so that I'm sure I have everything. I make sure I have the different views to the rooms and different angles, because we need to showcase every part of the house the best way possible. And when I'm done with shooting the the wide shots, then I'll go change my lens to the 50mm, and then I shoot the details. You guys are going to be seeing how these photos actually turned out. But yeah, you have to always use a tripod because you need to be as stable as possible, and also to be consistent with the frame. So you guys check out these photos. This is how they looked. Yeah, so when the photos were done, it was time to move on to the video. And for the video, I basically used the same gear, except that I didn't use any artificial lights for the video. I just used my gimbal, that is the Zhiyun Weibo S. Yeah, it's a pretty compact gimbal, but it's also very strong. So it's what I used for the rest of the shoot, still with the R8 and also the 16mm and the 50. So once my gimbal was set, but well balanced, it was time for me to get some shots. So a tip for you guys is, when you're shooting this kind of stuff, always use the widest lens you possibly can get. In this situation, the 16mm is like my favorite because it's really wide. Of course, there are wider lenses, but it's the one I could get my hands on. So yeah, the 16mm is a great option for these kind of photos, and that's what I recommend. Also for these videos, that's what I recommend. Yeah, so every room has its own temperature. That's very important. Always remember to change the temperature when you need to. Yeah, that's very important. And the other thing, I always encourage you guys to keep hydrated, drink some water. These kind of shoots can take really, really, really long, so you have to always have something to snack on. If you need a break, you take it. So here I was in the living room trying to get a really nice flow shot, like whereby I start in one room and then I enter the other room. It can really be nice to have such a shot because it really shows a lot more in one frame than just to have just one room. And then you go ahead to have these kind of parallax shots. I really love this shot. It's a parallax. It shows off like the entire room, but from the side angle. So I did a couple of shots, just to have a lot more options as I'm doing my editing. But yeah, all these shots, I really, really loved them. In fact, I was even spoiled for choice for some of these. So here I put my gimbal in lock mode, so the axis is still intact. The gimbal will just stay in that position. So yeah, let's do the shots. Guys, you always have to be as smooth as you possibly can. Make sure you use the ninja walk, like we call it. Like, try to walk as smoothly as possible, but don't try this. Oops. Yeah, avoid walking backwards. I don't know what I was even thinking, because you end up knocking, and instead I recommend for you to just walk forward and reverse the shot if you need to. Yeah, and that is what I call a parallax shot right there. You see, very beautiful shot. These are more like semi-parallax shots, just side shot, like moving to the side. I like to fly over things. It really gives you that nice rhythm, that nice flow. I also had to do like a top-down angle, to just showcase that kind of dining table. Really, really beautiful work. By the way, the interior designer did an amazing job for this house, and I really give it up to them. They did an amazing job. I'll link their contact in the description if you want to get in touch with them. And so you always have to make sure that you move into every corner of the room. You have to make sure you get all these, pretty much give us a tour around the home. You have to make sure, guys, that you get pretty much every detail that is in the house. Try to get as many angles as you possibly can. One tip I can share with you guys: if you're entering rooms, show us the doorway, show us that shot when you're entering. It makes us feel like we are right there with you. This is to you, like the photographers. It's always a good thing for you to like shoot through. So as you can see, I shoot through each room. Like I enter the room, I make sure I'm outside the room, and then I enter with it, so that like you feel the sense of being there, seeing the room with me. That's always something that I do. Okay, so guys, it's very important that whichever room you go to, you adjust the temperature. All rooms have different temperatures, so you can't just shoot one temperature throughout. Just look at the light environment, see the colors in the room, and then you should be able to like adjust the temperature accordingly. And then the other thing, when you're entering rooms, because the idea is to get as wide as you possibly can, so it means you need to move closer to the walls to be able to achieve that. This was really beautiful work done by the interior designer, and I had an amazing time shooting all this. And this is one of the bathrooms. This is actually the master bathroom. It was quite big, so I had to do those amazing shots. And by the way, for things like bathrooms, always remember to show functionality. Functionality is very important. If possible, like just open those taps and show us like the water flowing, the shower flowing, because for marketing purposes, people want to see that the water is actually flowing. They want to be sure that there's water. And when I was done with these white shots, I had to now change to the tight shots, the detail shots, and they really have a nice feel. They draw you closer to the, to the detail, to the art. So the detail shots are always are a must. And I used the 50mm for those, and they turned out really, really beautifully. So when I was done with the detail shots inside the house, I moved out so I could get my exterior shots. And you guys, you can see I didn't have a drone for this particular shoot, but I improvised. This is my go-to drone, like mini drone setup. I put my gimbal onto a light stand, and then I just carry it and walk. It was a bit slippery, so I had to be very, very careful. Otherwise, you end up falling and damaging your expensive gear. But this is a really nice tip for you guys. Check out this jib shot, this crane shot that I used. Just like that. Nothing complicated. And, it turned out actually pretty good. So I'm proud of myself on that. You just have to make sure that your tripod is very firm, it's very sturdy, and yeah, your stand. I actually ended up using this particular shot for my establishing shot to the house, which looked really nice. Yeah, you might actually think it's a real drone. So guys, check out how this video looked.